Well, it's time to finish our first part season back in English football with AFC Bournemouth. It's been a brilliant effort on the pitch to get into the top half of the Premier League, but we're hanging on by a thread financially, and I'm very worried about what's coming next. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 51 of the head coach with me, Daniel. We are back today for the final two games of the season with Bournemouth, and we're playing two of the bottom three at home. We got the chance in the first game to relegate our rivals Southampton before playing bottom of the table Sunderland on the final day. We've also got a chance to give a couple of youngsters a run out as we have in recent weeks, and potentially, if all goes well, maybe sneak ninth place, which, depending on how other things go and the coefficient is progressing, might yet get me in the Conference League. And boy, could we do with that financially. We've had a second cash injection of £4 million just to pay the debts for the month as we had the previous one. You saw that on camera. We've had another since, and that debt day is coming around again. If you're looking forward to seeing if we survive it, whether the inevitable administration eventually comes, and what on earth our budget is going to be for this summer, and please do put a thumbs up on the video. I cannot imagine that we managed to keep this squad together. I think we're going to be in a bit of a mess. But for now, on the pitch, things are going really well. We've done as much as we can with this squad. You're with me for that Arsenal game as we ended a 6-game winless run. We did, though, get battered at Palace the game after. A really comfortable win as Dangor threw his weight around and was the best player on the pitch by a million miles. But after that, two really good results. A 2-0 win at home to Wolves thanks to Tyler Adams scoring a thunderbolt and Victor Siganov putting a good finish in as well. And then a 1-1 draw at Leeds thanks to Chris Mepham, who scored a header late in the first half. Again, our goalkeeper finding form, our attacking players not so much. But we're getting little run-outs to people. Because of an injury to Max Aarons, I've started Ollie Burns the last couple of games. I've also given an England under-19 international John Hughes his debut. He's made 3 brief sub-appearances in the last 3 weeks, and he'd been training well and developing and deserved his chance. And if there's nothing to play for on the final day, I will play Mark Steele in goal as well. But for now, 9th is an opportunity because I'm looking at the record and thinking, could it get us into Europe? It says down to 7th at the minute. But of course, we know the coefficient place will give an extra one. And then I don't know, does it depend on winners, whatever else? It's unlikely, but it might be needed to save the club financially. Despite £8 million worth of injections, they're still at minus 98 million. And it seems those injections are there every time we go past the 100 million mark and there's a debt to be paid. So whether or not the owner runs out of money, I don't know, but next season's transfer budget will be the telling bit because financially, despite being a Premier League side, we are very insecure. We have got the derby today at home though, and at last the ground is sold out for a match. The chance to relegate Southampton has got the locals flocking in. So let's see the team we can put out today because I've basically gone no gambles for this one. It's a big derby match. I've gone experience. Ollie Byrne drops back out, has been in, not played that well, but I was trying to give him experience. This time, Maffeo comes in to replace the injured Aarons. The rest of the team is what you would expect it to be. We've got a decision up front because Solanke's come in and not done that well. So maybe I'm going to go back to Leonardo for this one. Just get the strongest side out and hopefully it will do the job for us. So our team for today as a result of that is Karnazeki in goal. Zabani, who's vastly improving, Mepham and Senesi the back 3, with Maffeo and Doig the wing backs. He's improved massively in recent weeks as Josh Doig. We've got Scott and Adams the midfield 2, Siganov and Cliver out wide, and then up front it's Marcos Leonardo, but nearly the whole 11's wanted, and based on the financial situation, I'm betting a few of them will get sold on. Let's go and submit the team and enjoy this team while we've got it. It should on paper be 6 points out of 6. But we've had some big results this year, and in the littler games, we've sometimes slipped up. In the South Coast Derby, though, we won the first one we played when we got here. We want to make sure we do the same again. Let's go and find out if we can. Well, here are the teams today. Russell Martin has returned to Southampton. He's not been there the whole time. He's come back in for a second stint because they were struggling, and he's got them in a bit of form at the minute. Luke Shaw has also returned in his old age, and a few other faces that you'll recognise there. But for now, let's go and say we're favourites for a reason. Feels weird being a favourite for these matches, and see if we can get on the front foot, because generally at home we've not been too bad. But again, we're relying on clean sheets at the minute. Why are both playing in red? Surely you'd make the away team switch. It's red and black v red and white. And while it is distinguishable from the front, it's not the easiest one to do, as Charles plays out to Mingueza. He finds Marcel back into the middle. We know that Southampton will try and keep the ball with Martin. We're very much about nicking it and going on the counter like that. Victor Siganov, you legend. Not even 90 seconds in. Curling effort from 25 yards, placed into the corner. And Russell Martin ball gets caught as they're playing out from the back. There's a bit too much realism in that one. 1-0 to Bournemouth, and we've got a corner again. This is our game. It's a clash of styles, and ours is on top at the minute. Siganov back to Alex Scott. Curling effort off the post and away by Kelly. Leonardo was trying to pounce. It stays 1-0. It's a flying start for Bournemouth. We won the derby last time, 2-0 at their place. That was our third game in charge. Then we were worried about the relegation zone. Now we want to relegate our rivals and enjoy a top half finish, because the prize money for every position at this point makes a big old difference for Bournemouth. And I think we've proven as well. We said it when we came here. They've got a good Premier League squad on paper. They shouldn't have been that close to the bottom three. But a lot of them are approaching 30 now. There's a few on the bench that are 31, 32. And of course, with the financial problems at the club, I think a few will be off in the summer. Southampton's expected goals at 0.00. No shots, no attempts. Loads of the ball, but they're not doing anything with it. As Karnazeki has got a goal kick going long. Leonardo's up, loses it, but Scott wins the second one. Falls in midfield though. Clivert working hard. Tyler Adams goes back to Mepham. We keep the ball at the back again with Adams. Into Siganov, the hero so far. Down the right to Maffeo. Rare start for him. To the byline. Cross to Leonardo. Back to Siganov. Back to Alex Scott. Glorious football on the counter-attack. We play out at speed. We get to wide areas. And we get midfield runners in the box. That's the deep line playmaker there. And that is 2-0 to Bournemouth. 2 shots on target with an hour gone. A big ruthless edge from the home side. Maybe we'll get the youngsters on after all, as Adams finds Zabani. Maffeo up to the edge of the box. Kelly away to Charles. And they get caught again playing out. Russell Martin ball is very good for us here, as we nick it in their half for the third time. Zabani finds Maffeo. Down the right-hand side. Has Siganov in support. Chance to cross. I don't think we've ever won a game by 3. Leonardo in. The referee's hand goes up. The flag didn't. I think it's all right. We'll double check it. Everson in goal is hoping. Is it awarded? You bet it is. Leonardo back in the team, and rightly so. What a decision. How many times have we scored 3 or won by 3 since I've been here? So if we look at our wins so far, 1-0, 2-0, 2-0, 1-0, 2-0, 1-0, 3-2, 2-1, 1-0, 2-0, 1-0, 2-0. Wow. We've only won 1 game where we've conceded a goal since I've been here. And we've only scored 3 twice, both of those in FA Cup ties. So we have been all about defence, but we're embarrassing Russell Martin's team. And we might be about to help secure a relegation for our rivals here. We're going to bring on a few players. Lewis Cook for Tyler Adams in midfield. Clivert is going to get a rest on the left, and he's going to be replaced by Veron. And I'm also going to take off Leonardo for Solanke. The final 2 subs, all being well, will be Ollie Byrne and John Hughes, but we just want to get through 10 more minutes first. It's not a game I want to take any risk in. And Southampton have got a free kick with Luke Shaw to the back post towards Charles and off the post. We got away with one there. Beaten at the back stick. You can see Doig and Maffeo both struggling. You can see a few of the midfielders the same. But it's not going to matter at this point. We're playing lovely stuff, and Senesi has licked it again. Veron tries to get away. Doig does. Brilliant counter-attacking play. Southampton are just playing into our hands. It's miraculous. Russell Martin is doing us a big favour here. Senesi finds Doig on the left, and he cuts it over the top. Solanke's in. Was the hero last time we met. Is it going to count? I'm not too sure. We'll wait for the answer. He scored the brace to win it last time, and he scored one this time as well. 4-0, 11 to go. Maffeo off for Ollie Byrne. John Hughes will come on for... I'm going to go Alex Scott. Not played him in centre midfield yet. I've normally brought him on the wing with a few to go. He's going to come in the heart of midfield. We are 4-0 up in the derby, 4 shots on target. And it could be Southampton down, as we might have a penalty here. Zabani pushed when attacking a corner kick at the back post. Solanke might get a chance at another brace. Got one last time the sides met. And I presume he'll be on this penalty, will he? No, he's not. Victor Siganov's on it. He scored one already, and it was a great goal. Can he add a penalty to it? Oh, what a day. We've not scored more than 2 in a Premier League match. And it's 5-0 against Southampton. Where has this come from? What a day for it. Look who's come on for them on the right-hand side. Sam Ammo. Those of you following the Southend save will know that name very well. But thank you, Russell Martin, for coming back here and playing right into our strengths. Chris Mepham on halfway finds Siganov. It could get worse. Solanke's in. Goes for the chip. Everson saves. Well, if it all does go pear-shaped in the summer at Bournemouth, we'll always have this day. And so will the fans. What a moment. Bednarek plays out to Mingueza. Weird that he's one of the only survivors. Bednarek. Didn't expect it to be him. Must be getting on a bit now as well. Find Shay Charles in the middle. Another one. And up to Shay Adams, who's the third. He goes wide to the left-hand side. Back into Charles again. Milan is in behind to Sam Ammo. Not the clean sheet. Ah, that's a shame. I mean, I'm glad it's him because he's a man who's been a superstar for me in the other save, but it is disappointing to concede. The record of not winning a league game more than once when we've had a clean sheet has gone. We concede at the end, but let's look at the positive here. We've probably just saved about 100 grand in clean sheet bonuses, which might actually save the club. So maybe the conceding was not the bad thing there. A 5-1 victory against our rivals. They're in big trouble at the bottom. Have we relegated them? That's what I want to see. This could be big news for Bournemouth and a way to cheer up the fans. If we've done well enough, we might even be able to get out of here this summer, which could be important given the situation. Right, Forest are a point above them. They've got 3 games remaining. Brighton are 2 points above them. They've got 2 games remaining. So if they both win, and even if Brighton draw looking at the goal difference, Southampton are down and will have caused it. That could be remarkable. For now, though, we'll get to the final day of the season. Bottom place Sunderland at home. And let's hope we can finish the season in style, just as we did with Southampton today. Well, fitness test time arrives for the final day of the season. We're starting to get links about moves elsewhere, such as 32-year-old Lewis Cook, off potentially to Sheffield United. I'd take 25 million for him at this age, but we are also starting to get those stupid messages as well. So Lewis Cook himself complaining and now unhappy about the fact we're not giving youngsters the chance to impress at right wing back. Ollie Byrne, our 18-year-old homegrown wonder kid, literally started 3 of the last 4 games. Came on in virtually every other one as well. Let's not worry about that for now though. We've got to get through this one. We're at home to bottom place and I would expect us to finish in style. But either way, we've got ourselves back where this club should be, which is comfortable in mid-table with the likes of Leicester and West Ham based on their squad. We're probably not going to have that squad next year. We're going to make the most of it for now. As you can see, Forest haven't done their job, so Southampton have still got a chance to get the derby in the Premier League next year. But maybe we can do a runner if we get a good enough result today, because a finish in 9th is a good achievement for us. If we have a look at our profile, we are up now to 3.5-star reputation, so maybe someone will come calling and get us out of Bournemouth before this financial problem smacks us in the face. But we'll get through the second game of the day first. We've got Sunderland at home in the Premier League, and if there was a game I was expecting a good result, it was probably this one. You can see 11 changes are being recommended, but I want to wrap up 9th place, get that extra 1.5 million prize money, whatever it is. And there's not many fans in either, so we've got to make up for the lack of gate receipts. You can see there are injuries, frustratingly, to Mark Steele, who would have been about the only one to come in. Damsgaard has got one as well, but Max Aarons is fit enough to be on the bench for this one. And that is what we're going to go with here. I'm going to put Solanke on the bench again because Leonardo did start the last game well. But the rest of the 11 is going to be virtually the same. Just Ollie Byrne in at right wing back. He is a quality wonder kid. He has got potential. And he has now featured in 13 Premier League games this season. Don't understand what they're on about. But he's going to come in. We'll keep Hughes on the bench to get an appearance as well. The rest of it, including a slight knock to Zabani, will stay exactly where they are for this game. Final one of the season in the Premier League. Let's see if we can get a result. Well, Neil Harris has gone for 6 changes today. He's rotating his Sunderland side. Jack Clark drops out. A few other big names, Diego Carlos as well. In the lineup, Patterson, who is now in the England squad, and then the likes of Hume, Sirkin, players that you'll know quite well, all involved today. So through the dressing room, pick up where you left off. How are you complacent, Ollie Byrne? How are you complacent in this game? You've barely played Premier League football. I've given you an opportunity. You're supposed to be wanting to prove yourself, not looking arrogant as you step out as an 18-year-old against players far superior to you. Get your acting gear. And here we go down the right. He throws into Adams, down to the byline, in towards Clivert, headed away to Cottrell. Breivik gets it away again to Jaden Philogene. Well nicked up there. Leonardo wide to Clivert. Good football again. Poaching the ball in the opposition half as Clivert takes on Hume. And he's cleared away as far as Adams. They nearly give it away in their own box as Byrne picks it up at right back for Mepham. And we can start another wave of attacks. A positive start. I think we can see where Sunderland's problems are. Giving away chances in their own area. We've just got to start taking advantage of them. 20 gone, we've been the better side. We are going to encourage the lads. But it's Sunderland on the counter here. Would be very FM if we lost this game. As Mepham heads it away. Senesi, the skipper, chases out. Is as far as Makuta. He's forced wide and backwards. Good pressing again, but here comes Sunderland. Nothing to lose. A few players trying to prove a point in this team. Zabani does really well with a block. Second touch is questionable, but it's out to Siganov, who had a brilliant game. Perfect 10 rating against the Saints. Switches it to Clivert and keeps the counter going. He's got a man over on the overlap. Josh Doig. He gets there from the sliding challenge to Tyler Adams. Goes for the shot just wide. Scored a cracker against Wolves, I think it was at home. And has almost done the same here. Half an hour gone, it's still 0-0. But we're playing well in this one. And hopefully we can nick a winner. Just to finish the season in style. But either way, it's been an incredible second half of the season on the pitch. Forget the last game. Those scrapped 1-0s, the 5-1-0s, the 4-2-0s. They're the games I'm proud of. The ones where we've defended so resolutely. And the clean sheets have been a big hallmark, but we might not get one today. Cottrell should have scored there. It's offside in the end. It was very close, and we got carved open a little bit. And at half-time, we've not had much of a chance in the last few minutes. 2 minutes of added on time played, and as we go through to the dressing room, I'm going to say I'm a little bit disappointed with that, I think. We're going to say, pointing a finger, you've not been good enough. Siganov, bit nervy, come on, I've got faith in you. No reaction at all. Into the second half we go. Who have we got on the bench we can bring on? Cook and Solanke can maybe make a difference. Veron scored a couple this year. I don't want to be relying on it as it's a free kick in, or a corner, sorry. Karnazeki does really well. And we're 10 gone in the second half. We need to get on the front foot quick. Big ball over the top towards Cliver. Loses out. Leonardo can't get there. They're probably the better of the sides at the minute. Hume goes wide to Cottrell. It's into Lorero. Up front holds up for Schmidt. Sunderland playing pretty well here. Not quite sure compared to Saints how they're about 15 points behind. As in they go here, Sunderland. Down the left wing, across the box it's blocked. Back to Sirkin though. Into Lorero. It's out to Soare. And Makuta! Good save, Karnazeki. And now they're bringing Jack Clark in, who's one of their star players. This is getting worrying here. It's a very much an on-the-beach performance after last weekend. Maybe we thought it was going to be easy, I don't know. While I know this squad is a good mid-table one, it's not good enough to come into games expecting to win. With just under half an hour to go, we are going to make some changes, and I'm going to go straight swap up front with Dom Solanke, Veron on the right for Siganov. We're going to put Burn to left wing back and switch Maffeo on the right. And then Tyler Adams hasn't been great either, so we'll put Scott as box to box, Lewis Cook on, and it'll probably be his final appearance for the club as well. A 32, transfer listed due to backroom advice, unhappy because Ollie Byrne apparently wasn't playing and Sheffield United want him. I'd expect him to be off, as here he is, Cook. Poor ball back to Veron, is cleared as far as Scott. And he goes inside to Maffeo, another one who might well be off as well. Transfer listed after backroom advice, although plenty of them are given the financial crisis. Burn away down the left this time. Good ball into Solanke. Away as far as Veron, and now Scott. He holds up for Zabagny. We've got one sub remaining. I want to use John Hughes, really. And he is the one being recommended here. So I'm going to bring him on for Alex Scott. We're not going to go box to box. Cook will switch sides. And we'll see out the last 15 minutes. So let's see how we get on. It's still 0-0. I want to go positive, but we did that in our second game in charge. And we all remember what happened. 5 minutes to go. Let's go for it. Let's go attacking. Are Sunderland going to hold out for a gritty 0-0? You bet they are. The clean sheets are back, but that is the most underwhelming finish to a season you'll ever see. I think the fans will have taken that if you'd offered them that with a 5-1 against Southampton last week. But the crucial news is, did it relegate Southampton? Yes, it did. We relegated Southampton with a 5-1 win, so the fans will forgive us for that one. A brilliant result, an excellent performance, and we backed it up with a solid one. We get 23 million for our top half finish. That is essential. The balance is up to minus 76 million, but the finances are still very insecure. I'm trying to look at where they got to a year ago. They got to minus 58 after the prize money and everything last year from minus 108. So he's not got quite as low this year because of board injections, but it's also not got as high after the prize money, which is a bit of a worry. Brentford go down with Southampton and we head towards the summer. We're obviously not going to be able to get through too much now, but let's get to the end of season messages and most importantly, find out what budget we're going to have. Well, the squad planning and the other news will be here in a minute, but the board have set the initial budgets and I'm expecting this to be a disaster. We're in insecure financial realms with lots of money in debt. Let's see what the board budgets are. What? Are you trying to kill the club? I don't understand. Transfer budget 57 million. Wage budget 1.9. How does that compare? Where is it? Club vision. Finances. It is currently 1.7. Yeah, it's up a little bit to be honest. But the big thing that's shocking me here, the financial status now says okay, despite the fact the budget hasn't changed. But how is the balance minus 76 million? How was the financial status insecure for so much of the year? And the transfer budget is 55 million. Please somebody explain this to me. I'm pretty good at maths. I'm not an economist or anything, but that doesn't make any sense to me. It seems like setting a team up to fail. Whether or not we're going to make money, I don't know. I genuinely have no idea what to expect this summer now. All of the warnings suggested the budget was going to be 5, 6, 7 million. There's a couple of youngsters coming in. There's a backup player coming in who's been on loan anyway. I mean, the squad as it stands is solid. It is a mid-table squad, and if we keep it together, we'll basically finish mid-table again. There are going to be big offers for some. There are some pushing past 30 who I would expect to leave. There are a fair few that have forced their way on a transfer list and have only got 1 year on their contract. Siganov, Kluivert, Lewis Cook is another. Maffeo is another. Areola's retiring in goal, but we've got a replacement there already. Till's loan's ending. The squad's going to be shorter. It's going to be less deep. But as we've seen with John Hughes, that other guy, Thiago Fernandez, who went out on loan in the January window, don't think that was his name, but close enough. Those sorts of players give us opportunities for the future. What is his name? Thiago Martinez there. He's a 2.5-star player. There is another one out on loan called Fernandez, which is why I was confused. There is quality in this squad, but it's just about what we keep hold of, what the director of football is going to do with that budget, and what on earth's going to happen to the club finances. Because if they spend that transfer budget now, even with the bits of TV revenue coming in at the start of next season, it's still going to be minus 120 million. Unless we've managed to get a big increase in season ticket sales, get the ground sold out every week, get more merchandise sold, all of that stuff, unless we sneak into Europe by miracle, I've no idea how that's affordable for this football club. So someone in the comments, please explain to me. If you've had this situation before, let me know, has it ended well or in disaster? And what do you think the director of football will do? We saw at Kashima, our last club, where the finances were poor, the director of football wasn't actually spending the budget and he was still selling. Whereas at the other two clubs, they've been brilliant. What do you think is going to happen? I have no idea. On the pitch, a stream of clean sheets, a brilliant run defensively. But we're going to need to evolve a bit next year if we want to press on. If not, it's going to be mid-table again, but maybe with this Bournemouth side, a couple of stable years, we're in great nick. We will keep an eye on the job centre. I'm not promising I won't apply for any because there might be some good jobs coming up soon, but at the moment, to be honest, there's one or two that are of interest, but not really that great. There's one in Ligue 1, for example, but not a bigger side than what we're at. And there's none yet from the top tiers of Spain, Italy, or Germany, which finish a bit later on. So we'll wait and see how all of that pans out. We'll be back in a couple of days' time for a summer transfer special. But if you did enjoy this one, a really good second half to the season at Bournemouth, but off the pitch, things are still worrying me, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. If you want to stay up to date with everything across the channel, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We've got a big transfer special coming here in a couple of days' time, or who knows, maybe a job special, maybe a mass exodus, maybe an administration. I have no idea at this point. Hopefully you'll come and join me to find out, but between now and then, we're back with Southend United tomorrow. It is deadline day over there, and my word, it's been an interesting summer. So make sure you check out the start of the new season up in the eye above if you missed it last time. There's also links to the Twitch channel and the football podcast with loads of content from both of those, and our guide series are also up there as well. Thank you very much for watching as always. Your support for another season is appreciated. Of course, we'll find out if this was the right decision in the long term. But for now, a really good effort on the pitch with Bournemouth. And off it, we need the director of football to match it. Mike Phelan, it's over to you. But the club's got no money.